After a bit of, off we go. So after a bit of a hiatus, I am now back in a Japanese import and wanting to do everything that Mr. Nissen probably didn't want us to do. So on today's agenda, we are going to make some vinyl headlight eyelids, maybe that's what it is. At the moment, this is what the headlights look like. So the idea is getting an eyelid in black vinyl across here. So first, obviously, it's all about prepping and priming. So we're going to wax and grease remover the lights to get them all clean. Maybe do up a template. Let's see how this plays out. So after cleaning it, I've masked up the whole area so that the vinyl doesn't stick to the paint, and we went to Super Cheap and found this U-Boot knifeless tape. So I think the idea is you stick it where you want to put it, and then when you put the vinyl over the top of it, and you can pull this and cut the vinyl to shape. So it'll be good to get around all of these bumps here in the lights. So yeah, let's see how this works. So what are you doing at the moment? Last minute minute adjustments. So the plan is to mark it in tape before we stick the very expensive cutting tape on. Lots of back and forward, and maybe we've got the shape that we want. So we've put the cutting tape, which is the red line, along the bottom of the template that we drew. So once we stick the vinyl, we're going to pull all of the blue tape off, stick the vinyl over the top, and then the idea is when we pull the red strip, it'll give us a clean cut through our vinyl. Managed to pull the tape off cleanly, so this will be the line, the bottom of our eyelid will run along here, and it goes around the bulge and up here. So now the next step is to put the vinyl on, lay it down, obviously mould it around the sections here, and see how we go.
It's all part of it, Hal.
So my job is to use the heat gun. I've used this heat gun once before trying to peel the roof of Harley's JZX100, and what happened when we did that, How's what happened?
Devastation.
I maybe burnt him a little bit, but I was just trying to be helpful, and so let's see what happens. I maybe will care more this time because it's actually my car. Not that I don't care about him, but you never know. Anyway, we're starting. Gotta go. Bye. So we're getting to the end now. We're just going to put a little bit of heat in this final section to something it.
Let it stretch and manipulate into the hooks and crannies of the lights.
If you didn't get that, to make it stretch and so we can manipulate it. Had a couple of boyfriends that have been pretty manipulative. Should have probably put a heat gun on them. I get to have the lucky job of cutting it. So where am I cutting it?
To the higher edge to the bonnet to give us enough extra to play with before we final trim.
And this is also another reason that we put the blue tape down, because
Watch the Juco.
yeah, watch the Juco. Even though I was at the shops the other day and some fucker hit me. I'm a bit pissed.
With one hand, start to pull while you rub it out with the felt tip.
I don't know if that's how you guys do it. Maybe I
Pull,
didn't.
pull.
Maybe, oh yeah. Look, I'm rubbing it out with the felt. This is way easier than when I do it myself.
It's because of the felt. The felt gives it that soft touch edge. Are you not using felt at home?
I'm not. I feel that maybe I should start using... Fuck, I think I fucked it.
So this is under the bonnet, so it's not the most important part, but presentation is everything.
Because clearly, this is a show car.
Check out my dubs.
I actually reckon I'm going to tag out here because I am beyond my depth. I did a good bit, so I might give it back to the master to start doing his mastery. So we've had our first casualty and it wasn't me. What happened?
So I was trying to close the blade.
That one, the fending one.
With my hastiness, I opened it into my hand and stabbed myself. So, victims of crime, criminals of crime.
So what we did actually is to keep it a nice smooth line, we lifted this guard up just a little bit and tucked it under there so it gives it a nice look. Uniform look. And next, is this what we're doing?
Yep.
Alright, so I might let Hals do this one and then if I'm adventurous, we'll try the other side. I think we need to read the instructions again. I'm going to read the instructions and I'll be back. Alright, so it turned out that Harley was confused and he was trying to pull the wrong thing. You would have thought at nearly 35 he would have got it right, but anyway, after a quick little Google to see what a filament was, he ended up pulling the right thing, and this back end, super clean. This front end, maybe not so good, but we're going to use our super safety blade and see if we can fix it. Obviously we got this one side done and I am legitimately over the moon about it, so excited. Now we need to do the other side. And we are kind of in discussions about how it's going to be done. So I want to do a template, so it's the same. Do a marker template of this one, and old mate might be on a little bit of a high, thinking he's better than what he might be, and he wants to freehand it. So we probably are going to try both ways. He's just popping into the house to get me some baking paper, and I'm going to give the template a crack. And it's like, I guess it's who dares wins.
Okay, Kerry doesn't smoke. It's just a Sharpie. But what she's doing is attempting to tape baking paper to the car to create a template.
And it's been a bit of a cunt.
I'm feeling confident that I can freehand a very, very close to identical eyelid. Bigger tape.
I feel that I'm on the winning strategy here. It's not about the size, it's how you use it.
Apparently, yeah.
But
sometimes we got to supply the big stuff for the big jobs. This is becoming a big job.
Here's what I prepared earlier.
Template.
Yeah, it's gonna work. This is totally gonna work. So I've got my template. And if I match this line up here with the round of the light, look at that, look how good that is. What do you think about it? How are you feeling?
As long as we can get a consistent, firm tape line we can follow.
Alright, I reckon I'm on the money here. So we've gone back in with plan something, and I've got another piece of vinyl that I'm going to cut out to be the shape of the template that I made, because we couldn't get the template to stick on the light. So I'm going to cut this out, stick this on here, then wrap around this in the red tape. Pull this off, put the black on,
and pull the filament.
Pull the filament, not the red thing. So
no red tape here.
Possibly this might be more difficult than the way Harley wanted to do it.
Freehand's faster.
Freehand's faster, but I'm going to give this a crack and see how we go. Fuck. I'm actually pretty happy with my template. I don't think he agrees with me, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to get him to put the red tape on and then get a tape measure to measure the non-freehand side and the side that I just templated up, and see how close I am. I'm okay to admit if I haven't done it right, but we'll see what happens. Alright, it's time to maybe admit defeat. This here, perfect. This here, perfect. This here, so when he gets off the phone, I might tell him that we might need to go back to the drawing board. But look, like I said, I'll admit defeat. This bit perfect to here, so we just need to work on this. Work on the bulge. Alright, so Harley's off the phone, and now we're going to tell him what we did. So I used the veneers, and it's good here.
Yep.
It's good all the way to here.
Yep.
From here, it's fucked.
I can tell.
So, what are we going to do?
We're going to peel it all back and freehand it to a desired line.
All of it? Or just this bit?
Probably back to about 1 inch in.
I feel that's a bit unfair, seeing I measured it to there and it was alright.
Yeah, but I can pick that point up again, but all this is shit. This.
Okay. Translated, I did a shit job, and all of this was for
It's a
nothing.
bit rough.
So I just said that we didn't need to film this side because we filmed the other side, but Harley wanted everyone to see how good his freehand line is. So obviously we ripped off what I did because I was wrong, and he was right.
There was a minor guideline off it.
Minor guideline. This edge, we did real good with this edge. So anyway, we're going to put the vinyl on, and at the end of this we should have 2 complete eyelids. And now we know how to pull this, it's going to be better. Alright, so we're done. How do you feel about how we went?
I think we come off pretty clean. Sharp lines, angry face.
What did we learn from this?
Freehand's best.
Alright, so we're done. I'm pretty happy with it. Good work. High five, team. Alright. Okay, thanks for joining us. What's up next? We will see.